Good afternoon.
Have you got your coffee? Yeah, I should have had something.
I do.
So, how are you this morning?
Doing good. You know, I just learned about Honza scammer.
I shared it onto ours today, and the amount of people that's getting in contact with you. I mean,
It's crazy, isn't it?
We know they do it. We know the scams do it. We know they're there. But it's what gets me, Honza, to be honest with you, I'll be honest. How can he find you afterwards but not before?
I don't know. I had the same question. I'm like, okay, so you sent money, or you talked to me, like, I mean, my pictures for some time, and then after they leave, or after they take your money, then you start investigating, and like, well, I found you now, and you seem like the real person, so what's going on? I was like, why? So I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, honestly, I don't understand.
And we get the same, that, oh, I'm sure he was real. Well, why? Because the pictures were the same or something like that. And also they say things like, well, I saw him on a video. But it's very easy to play somebody a video and see you move. But of course, they've had no talking to it.
Well, I just learned that there's an AI they keep using also. So they could take a picture of me, and then they use the AI using OBS Studio, whatever they have. They actually make the picture speak. So basically the camera is looking at the scammer, he talks, but my picture is actually in the picture, and it moves my lips, it moves my eyes, so it looks like I'm speaking. And then these ladies are like, no, I talked to you though on video.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't talk to me, you talked to my picture. And then one of them showed me a picture or screenshot of the picture she was talking to. It was actual picture on my Instagram. I was like, well, look at this. This is the picture. You were talking to a picture where the scammer was just using AI. So,
there has to be a word confirming. And okay, if they want to be contacted by somebody, and I apologize in advance because I've got a little bird who is very quiet until I start to talk, and then he joins in. I don't understand, Honza, and I never will, how, because I get them all the time like everybody else. You get the thing, and this perfect person is a perfect stranger to you. So why do you just immediately throw yourself into the relationship? Because that's what it is. As soon as you say hello.
Isn't it psychology though? I was, when I was looking into it, like psychology is basically talking all about, if you are single, you desperately want somebody to love you, or you want to be in a relationship. And then my picture is basically telling you, hey, honey, queen, princess, all these nice things, we're going to be together. I'm going to take care of you. I just want to be with you. You're my whole world. And then they're like, oh my God, actually somebody shows interest, so it must be real, because nobody ever showed this interest before. So then it messes up their minds, and they're like, well, somebody loves me, so I think I'm gonna go with that. And then when I was looking more into it, again, it's all psychology, right? And then there was a professor from one of the universities here in the US. He was talking about it. Again, they play with their emotions, and their emotion just mess up their brain, and they believe that they want this thing to be so real that they will actually fall for this, for those pictures, for this scammer, and all these nice and sweet things they say. That's all also, they need to hear.
You've got where they actually, it's not a talk like, well, I might see you in a few years' time or whatever. It's a talk like, I'm coming home next month and we'll be together. So it's always leaving it a short distance. So if you could just lend me the money, I'll be home next month and I will give you the money back.
Right? It just doesn't make any sense. And then talking about money, the thing which gets me is like, do you think we would actually go and do these things for free? I'm just like, of course we have money. And if I'm somewhere, why do I need you, some random woman from somewhere, why do I need you to pay me to get me out of deployment or help me with something somewhere in the US, you know, like my son or daughter, they keep using all these things. And it's like, why would I need money? Because again, the military, we have a policies in place where, you know, there's a family care plan. So if something would have happened to me, then there's already a person on paper, which is with my command, who's going to actually be notified, and then they will take care of my child, right? So there's no need for money from anybody. For instance, they also keep using pictures of like bloody hands or, you know, something being injured. Like if I'm injured, the military will take care of me. They will send me back home. Like they will take care of me. I don't need a stranger to help me out. What else they keep using? They keep talking all about, you know, oh, I told my commander, it was the recent one, I told my commander to F off because, you know, I want to go home and he doesn't want to let me. So now I'm in jail and I need to pay a fee to be released from the jail. I was like, really? Seriously? Why? Like, civilians have nothing to do with that. And I to this day, I understand that people don't know how the military works, but why would a little private or whatever talk to a commander, right? And they wouldn't utilize the chain of command to, you know, figure out. It's just like somebody's gonna go and talk to a colonel and tell him to F off. And I was like, really? You just believe that? And they keep believing these things.
Yeah, I think the F word is probably used quite a lot in the military. It is in ours. I had one this morning, and it wasn't using you. It was using somebody else that we know, and couldn't get through to her that it was fake. She's still not having it's fake. But the commander had sent her the top secret details of his mission on Facebook Messenger, and that proved that it was real. And I thought, how can you counter this? If you're going to, you know, if you're going to think that the commander, he's always got a name, he's never a general or a major or whatever, you know, top secret, there's a clue there. You know.
I mean, wow, yeah. We have briefings. We know what to share, what not to share. Geolocation needs to be turned off. Like, why would somebody jeopardize themselves or the unit for some lady, right? Doesn't make sense. I mean, granted, some, you know, mistake can happen. Like some of the young airmen, whatever, may, you know, they might do something silly, but it's a mistake. It's not purposely giving out information like that. And the OSN letters or emails, I'm just...
It is, and I know people don't know how the military work. Nobody does, except you lot that's in it. But I think there can be a little bit of thought applied. Is it likely that you would go out somewhere and you would get injured, and they would leave you there, and they wouldn't treat you until you got the money sent over by this woman that you'd never met? Because what happens to all those poor guys who don't have a woman that they've never met? No, it needs to make sense to me.
No, it's just silly to me. And I don't, you know, again, I don't know what to say because it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, this is not the you know, 1940 Soviet army where they're just leaving, you know, bodies behind and just going somewhere. I mean, we take care of our own, you know? So I just don't understand. This is just silly to me. You know, this whole thing is silly to me. Unfortunately, they use sorry to say, stupidity of some ladies, you know, and then they use it against them, or the lack of knowledge, might be the better word, where they just, you know, they don't know and they want to believe, and they want to, you know, like many of these women are being contacted from, you know, the recent one from Brazil or what was it, Lithuania. I mean, they want to get somewhere, you know, oh, I'm going to take you to US, you know, you're going to be living on my ranch. So if I have a ranch, why would I be asking for money from you? And then they want to believe so much that they're going to be living, or in California, right? I have pictures on my motorcycle or whatever. You can be with me on the motorcycle. We can be riding the coast. And they just want to believe it so much. I'm like, well, it's not going to happen, you know? I mean, like,
but
no. And
you know, if
I keep asking myself,
if you were talking to somebody from Lithuania, and you wanted to marry that person from Lithuania, you can't just go there, get married, and then you two get on an aeroplane and come to the US. There would be the normal immigration vacation.
Yep. I was married to a Czech woman. You know, we were married over here, and to get her over here was a pain in the butt. Like immigration paperwork, like interviews, just embassy visits. It's not just, hey, I marry you and we're gonna move over to my ranch. I mean, and who was paying for all that? I was paying for all the visits. I was paying for all the immigration fees. So I was like, I wanna be with you, so I'm gonna pay. I'm not gonna be asking you to pay. And just, I don't know. This whole thing is weird.
And you know, my heart goes out to a lot of women, because you know, sometimes, well, of all ages, but many times the older ones, they'll say, but I was so lonely that, you know, it came at the right time. And I can understand that. Everybody in the world is lonely at some point. But is it going to help? And does having somebody to text help? And I know then this is where the we'll get married soon, I will be there with you soon comes in, because they're not just stringing it along. But you know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it wasn't so common for the women to contact the men. They would accept it a lot more and cry and think it was, you know, but it just started to creep in where they would find you and start to contact you. Do you get contacted by the scammers?
Not really. When I find them, I actually message them to mess around with them, and I have some great conversation with them, because, you know, I'm being very sarcastic, I'm being very passive aggressive, and they think I'm being friendly. They don't understand that I'm, you know, so basically they have knowledge of English where they understand, you know, how to actually get the lady, but they don't understand sarcasm. They don't understand, you know, passive aggressiveness. And, you know, so I'm being a jerk to them. I'm being hardcore jerk. And they just, oh my God, you're so nice. Don't you get it? I'm making fun of you. And then, you know, I just posted on one of the Facebook groups, which I'm in the Czech Republic. It's American Soldier Romantic Scammer. So I just, you know, we just post these pictures over there, the screenshots where we make fun of these people, because they honestly believe like we are being sincere and, you know, like we sympathize with them. It's like, no, I'm just being, you know, I'm being arrogant jerk to you right now, and you don't get it. So
he keeps getting messages, and they keep saying to him, "Would you do something for us? Would you make us a little voice clip saying, 'Hello, honey, I love you'?" And he says, "Am I?" You know, and he does the same thing. He does the same thing back, because they don't know sarcasm. They haven't got it. I don't think they've got much of a sense of humour, to be honest. But they don't understand irony or sarcasm. But they actually ask him to make things for them to scam with.
Yeah. It actually, one of these scammers, he asked me, he's like, "Hey man, can you help me?" Because I was being friendly to him, you know. I was like, what the heck? And he's like, you know, your pictures, you have a picture of your tattoo over here, and there's a Czech flag on it, you know, like, you know, can you help me with that? Or can you stop putting your name tag on your stories and videos? I was like, yeah, like I will. And then still doesn't help anyways, because these people are just so dumb. I don't know if I sent you guys this. I actually did send you pictures. They took my pictures from my Instagram, which was being tagged with my name tag, and they posted it on theirs. So that's how one lady found me. I was like, are you guys so lazy already that you just, you know, take whatever you can and think that these ladies are just so dumb that they won't be like, hey, what is this name tape right here?
We've had them where they've used pictures with Scam Haters United across the middle. So at least we get the people back and say, "Oh, we sent me this. Can you explain it?" "Oh, yes, we can explain it. All right." Yeah, I mean, it's, and I say this all the time, has been defeated, but it's wondering what to do about it. All we can do is hope that you put out enough information and people actually listen to it, or, you know, read it and see it, because it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't.
Not always. Last year, I had a girl, you know, she was 22, and her mom was so in love with one of these scammers. She purchased tickets for him. She purchased some other stuff for him. I was like, why? And she's like, and his daughter, she's like, hey, can you talk to my mom, please? Can you let her know what's going on? So I went, I was like, you know what? She's from Czech. Okay, I'll go through the hoops. And I recorded myself, talking to the mom. I had her name. I was like, listen, he's a scammer. We don't do that. We don't do that. Like, this is not real. And she's like, no, no, honey, you're talking to a scammer. I'm talking to the real guy. I was like, okay, well, she was so blinded by, all that nonsense they keep telling her that she believed that the actual scammer was the real guy. And me, I was in uniform on base. I made like 20-second long video for her. It was like, hey, in my language, like, hey, lady,
Yeah.
being scammed. Like, I'm so sorry. And she's just like, she refused to believe me. I was like, well, what else can I do then? Then I think that was the point where I just gave up. I was like, you know what? To me, it's just like whatever. I mean, if these ladies, they don't want to even listen to me when I'm actually telling them they're being scammed, then all the things he's saying, it's a lie.
I mean, we know.
I was like, whatever.
At some point, their scam is going to have to end because it can't do anything else. It's got to end. They've got to realise because he's not coming home. It's not going to end. So we
Right.
actually know that there's an end to the scam, and it's not going to end well. But yeah, as you say, if they're going to believe the scammer over the real person, it's like, we know they're going to get hurt, but I would rather they got hurt without sending any money. Because I know the emotions are engaged with these people. We talk to them often, but I begrudge every single bit of money in any currency that these people get.
Mm. Yeah, anything they can. So just like I mentioned before, this lady from Brazil, $20,000. She sent $20,000. I was like, really? So she took a loan, and she did all these things just to waste them on a scammer. And she believed she's gonna be, with me in the US with our daughter living over here. I'm like, really? And then the worst part for me, as being one of them, soldiers or military men, which their pictures are being used, then she's in love with me. I was like, you don't love me, you love my picture. And it gets to the point where I get so annoyed because then she's commenting on everything. Like, she's like messaging me. I was like, listen, lady, stop talking to me. Then it went so far where her mom was just like, oh my god, like, I'm so glad she found the real one. She's perfect daughter. She would be perfect wife. I was like, listen, I don't care about your daughter. Like, I don't want to date your daughter. And then her mom was so annoying. I had to block her mother. I was like, stop it. Like, some of these ladies, they get so attached or, so crazy over these pictures for some reason that they actually come over and they keep bothering me then. I was like, just stop. Like, now I'm the real person. I have no interest at all in you or in your money or in anything to do with you. I'm trying to be, nice about it. I'm letting you know you were scammed. So just stop talking to them. But then they start focusing on me. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is just ridiculous. Why focusing on me? I have nothing to do with you. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. And the mom, I'm telling you, even the mom, when she got involved, I was like, this is just
it is
stupid.
And it's I think they build up a lot in their head. I think they're part of the scam themselves, mm-hmm. because they start to see the reality of things in their head. And I think, the women have said to me, like, oh, but he's perfect. He says all the right things and then he sends some pictures. Well, yes, it's very easy to do that, So it's a combination of all these really silly words and keep getting more and more pictures. But there's no proof. To me, you've got to stand in front of somebody and look them in the eye before you would even contemplate saying, yes, I'd like to marry you. And which man would ask a woman he had never met to marry him?
I mean, I believe there are some men like that, but majority of the men would never do that.
No, and they do it with me plenty of times. I was looking through Facebook and I can't stop looking at your beautiful pictures, and they send me this like 30-year-old soldier, you know, and I'm thinking it wouldn't, in a million years, it would never happen. You know, so this, and I just
Nope.
tell her where to get.
And I didn't want to be, you know, I didn't want to be insensitive and say it out loud, but yes, why would I be looking for 60-year-old or, you know, 55-year-old to spend the rest of my life with her? I was like,
No.
why? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it obviously, you know, it's obviously they go after these, you know, hurt women who either lost their husband, you know, either they're widows or, you know, they got divorced and now they're so single because, you know, their kids are older or they have no grandkids or whatever. And then they want to find something. And I'm just like, but why do you think, you know, 20, 25, 30, 36-year-old would be, you know, interested in you? Again, I don't want to be insensitive at all, but just
Because
ask
you
the
never
question,
see it in
why?
real life.
You know,
How many
I
people
think
in real life of your age are married to a woman of 60? No,
to
nobody
be
knows
honest, I
any.
don't know
I mean,
any.
there might do. There might be some strange people who maybe in real life know each other, got on well over a period of time. They've talked a lot. They realise they like each other, and that might happen. I wouldn't say 30 years, but you know that might happen. But actually, not on the internet where you've never met. You know, because
Yeah.
because if you're going to look at a picture and say that you know that you think that they're so beautiful, there's got to be an instant attraction, and I deny any 30-something is going to have an instant attraction of a 60-something. And they say things like
Exactly.
age is just a number. No, it's not. You know, age is real life. Age is what happens, and a bit of respect for yourself, Jeff, when you get to 60 odd and you've got a 30-year-old and it's beautiful. And it just seems to go, you know, as soon as they have got that first, well, hello, you know, you thing, and then you say hello, and sometimes I use a one-word answer, so they'll say, you know, where are you from? Why? How old are you? Why? And I can go down about 20 questions before they realise they haven't answered. Because they've just got it all out there to copy and paste, to you. And the women are so intent on answering the questions that that they just fill them in and do it. And I just, you know, we've got to make people see. Got to make them see that it's not. I was just looking and I can't find. I had somebody this morning, I think I've deleted him off, and he was 25, and he sent me this copy and paste. It was brilliant. You are the angel that I have always thought would fall from heaven.
Okay.
And I'm sat here laughing and I'm thinking, really?
Well, but again, those are the trigger words they keep using, right? And it's going back again, like we talk about it, the psychology, right? That's all about psychology to them. Like I have to say, yes, they are, or whoever is their boss is really good in psychology. He knows how to work, you know, the little brain of ladies, you know. It's all about psychology. The things they say. To be honest, like sometimes when I see those things, like me speaking, I'm like, man, I would never, ever, 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 ever say that. It just never. Like that's not even me. I would never say that. And then going back to it, right? Because all these, just like the Brazilian girl, all these words they use. Then she thinks I'm like that. I'm like, no, honey, I'm not like that. You know, I cuss. You know, I'm like, I ride motorcycles. I'm like, you know, I'm not romantic at all. You are expecting, you know, something which is not real. I'm not that guy. I was like, no.
No,
Who
anybody
talks
does.
like
I mean,
that?
I'm not romantic in the absolute slightest. I've got no romance in me at all. So it wouldn't actually get anywhere with me. It never has done. But it's, I think with some, they have a picture of a nice face, and then they've got these words, and they think, I never thought this man existed, but he's here and he's mine. And so they let it go. You know, they let the scam go on. And you can be lonely, Honza. You can be divorced. You can be in an abusive marriage, and this man comes, but it's damned expensive because you don't get scammed for free. You get scammed for a lot of money.
Yeah. Just what was it? I don't know if you heard about a story. The lady from Japan, 8 million. No, what is it? 8 million crowns, which is what is it? $300,000. It's crazy.
The biggest one that we've had was a man, Spanish man, 2.2 million with a gender. Yeah. Okay. But 6 figures is it used to be unheard of. 6 figures is not now.
Yeah, I know, unfortunately. And the unfortunate thing is also that, at least over here in my area, the police, they can do nothing at all. I talked to my local police department just to have a report, just in case somebody decides to go after me. So I have a report, police reports, which says that that I'm a victim of. It's not identity theft, but I'm a victim of of these scams where they use my pictures, and it wasn't me. So at least I have a police report in, just in case somebody goes after me and wants to sue me. Then at least I have something to protect myself with. But the police was like, I'm not helping you because it's your fault. You shouldn't be putting pictures out there, or if you do. I was like, they are right though. I mean, my profile is open because, again, I want to introduce the Air Force to other foreigners who might want to join the Air Force, right? Because when I was joining as a 24-year-old, I didn't know what to expect. I was a foreigner, brand new U.S. citizen. I had no idea. So when I joined, I didn't have anybody to look for, or anybody to look for information. So I'm trying to put, tell them about the Air Force. That's why my profile is open. So people can learn about the Air Force, and again, it helped many people. Like, I know a bunch of people from Europe who joined, and it helped them. So I'm keeping it open so I can educate them about the Air Force. If they have questions, they can ask me. If I close my profile, it doesn't make sense. Why would I have it, right? So the police, basically, they don't want to help me, which is fine, but I have at least police report. I mean, OSI, which is the Office of Special Investigation, like the Air Force, FBI, they can't help me, which again makes sense. Only thing they say, close your profile. Again, I'm not gonna do that, right? I mean, I have my rights. I have my, I wanna be able to show the life of Air Force, or I wanna be able to show Air Force to other people. I'm not gonna be doing it just because of scammers, because then they would
and also
win.
You've got social media. Social media was meant to be open. I mean, Instagram at one time was really for you to show your family pictures when you went to work. And it was only when it started to, scammers started to really get to it and take everything. But I'm a great believer in, you should not have to close an account because some Nigerian's going to come along and steal you. It's not in the spirit of it. But I'll tell you something else. There is a doctor called Richard Terry. Richard's been used about 10 or 12 years now. Initially, they stole about 4 pictures and a video of Richard. We have got currently probably over 100 pictures of Richard where they've put his head on somebody else's body. So they didn't have very much of him. I mean, Richard disappeared from the internet. I know where he is, but he disappeared from the internet. He still does things, but you'll never find anything he does with a picture on. And even LinkedIn and things like that. He disappeared completely. Nobody's seen him for all of those years. 4 pictures and a video, and he is everywhere. Lots and lots of pictures. So it doesn't matter. Really, it's okay if they can get a few more of you. But if they can't, they'll just make them anyway. So, why is the push at the other side? Why? There is so much in scamming. Why are they not trying to do something with the police over there? I got a thing from the Army website that I wanted to send to somebody. It was dated 2014, a warning about romance scams. And I thought, I think you might need to update that a little bit, And yet it's left to you to fight it.
Yeah. Well, even our chief of Air Force is being scammed, and she's posting it over there. She's posting these pictures. So
They,
the
they do.
government knows. I mean, they know, but they don't do anything. And I think who should be responsible is Instagram and Facebook. Like, I've tried so many times to contact Instagram, be like, hey, give me the blue check mark. I'm being scammed all the time. Like, there were articles, where I'm in Czech talking about these scammers. Like, because you don't give it to me, I have to explain myself then, and I have to fight these ladies. Be like, no, it's not me. And then some like even Instagram doesn't want to help. Or when I report fake pictures of me or fake accounts, Instagram comes back just like, yeah, no, it's they didn't break any policies. I was like, are you serious? Me, I'm reporting it that I'm reporting a fake account with my pictures, and you keep saying it's not
Against
real.
their community guidelines.
What is that?
But we're verified on Facebook. You fill the same form in with the same details on both of them. So I filled one in, sent the passport, they've got everything. They just know everything about me. On Facebook, yeah, got a nice blue tick. Instagram keep turning us down. How? It doesn't make sense, does it?
I don't. Not at all. Not at all. They don't help. They just help the scammers. They don't help the victims.
I just think they turn a blind eye to it. I deal quite a lot with Facebook, and you tell them things, and you it's like you're telling them something for the first time, and things that they should know. And I think that, I know this is going off a bit, but I think they're so hammered with politics, with bullying, with hate speech. Oh, heaven forbid you say some hate speech. They're so hammered with loud voices telling them that our problem is just forgotten. It's just not learned about. And,
yeah.
And yet, the problem that we're fighting,
definitely.
I think, is worse because it's human. It's you that's the that needs the help. It's not a bit of hate speech. You're not saying I don't like you, Ruth. You're horrible. It's impacting on people's lives.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, my impact, I found myself on a bunch of dating sites, online gaming sites and whatever. And then my friends are like, hey, dude, so you looking for a chick? I'm like, really? Yeah. Why? I just found you on Tinder. I was like, oh, yeah. And then, under different name, I'm on Tinder,
right?
Bumble, QCopy, whatever. Like, I'm all over. Like, my pictures are all over. And then one of my Air Force co-workers, she's like, you looking for somebody? I was like, what? Look. And she shows me your phone on Bumble. You over here. You're on Bumble. I was like, okay, well, under different name, and the location is unknown. I was like, I'm standing right next to you, and you think location is unknown. So they're trying all over the world. And again, that's the annoying part, that I'm all over the world, which, again, nothing I can do anymore, but it is what it is.
Tinder, but if you put your pictures, we use a program called Pimize, and it's really good. It picks up everywhere. But you'll get something like, dating in the small town in Missouri somewhere. So you'll have a small town dating site, and you can go on them, and it's the same pictures, and you're on there. And they're peppering everywhere. Not even just the big places, the small places. And I talked a lady out of Words with Friends. Oh no, it was Scrabble.
Scrabble, that's the one, right? Scrabble. There was one of them ladies, she found me on Scrabble, and she was playing with me for a little bit, and then she was like, it's kind of fishy. A funny story, right? So she was like, it's kind of fishy. I don't know what's going on over here with that. His English is not, what I would expect from, like, San Fran, like somebody living in California. I was like, all right. So then what we did, I met up with this girl. I was kind of like, it's kind of weird, but let's see who's gonna show up over there. To be honest, I was kind of freaked out. I was like, I'm taking my pistol with me, and I'm gonna go meet this person, right? I was like, all right, let's go. So then we met up, and it was a lady, and she told me about all these things. I was like, man. So what we did, we took a picture together and sent it to the scammer. I was like, screw you, man. This is the real lady right here, and this is the real Honza. I met him. And he was like, oh, well. So then he actually, he told her everything. And it's just like stupid. I was like, That's dumb. Again, they were just playing games, you know, but he was trying to be like all romantic or whatever. Luckily, you know, she didn't fall for it. So now we are friends. But thanks to people like him, I'm just like,
It's
it's
just
just
an unreal world,
stupid.
really. To anybody that doesn't know this world, it's a very unreal situation to find yourself in. Because how many different people are you? I always say, you know, the victim gets scammed once, hopefully, only once. You were used 1,000 times a day. So you're a bigger victim.
The victim. No, the victim doesn't get scammed once. There's ladies, I know about ladies who actually fell for it twice or 3 times. I was like, really, in check, and they keep, you know, they have like articles about it. You know, this lady, she sent money yet again. Why?
It's all that, you know, how you doing, honey? Good morning, honey, and love you very much, babe. They all talk the same. It's a script, so they must think
it's a script.
And
then I don't look at myself as a victim. I don't see myself as a victim. I was like, whatever, you want to use my pictures, fine, go for it. You know, like whatever. I don't. To be honest, I could care less. Like whatever. My pictures are decent. I basically show pictures in uniform and from San Francisco. But okay, whatever. What I'm angry about when they start using picture of my son and my niece and nephew, I think that's a effed up thing to do. When you put my kids out there and use them for your dumb scam, that's upsetting me. That is something I'm really upset about. So I did remove pictures of all my, you know, of my kids, my niece and nephew, and then if I post them, if I happen to post something with them, I put smiley face over their face because I don't want them to be out there. I hate that they're using my kids. I hate it.
So it's so cruel, but it's so heartless. It shows the people they are. There's one man who has been used for years again, and I got a message through our YouTube channel, and it was a teenage girl, and she said, "That's my dad." And she'd been used since she was a little girl. And that was one of the saddest messages I've ever had. She just said, "That's my dad." And I thought, oh, I just wanted to hug her, you know? Because the people we're dealing with, I can't even say they're heartless because they've never had a heart to do anything. It is straightforward, and you can get rid of we only do this because Nigeria is bad and we're poor. Get rid of that. They have nothing but self-greed at all. You are not a human being. The kids are not humans, but they know that if they use kids, they're gonna, you know, a woman's gonna feel much softer.
Yeah, and they keep using it a lot. Or again, another story I can tell you that I learned about. They talk to my child, and please, you know, like, my daddy was talking about you. You would be a great mom. You know, it would be awesome if you could be with us. I'm like, really? And again, psychology. These ladies, they're like, yes, oh my God, I'm gonna be your mom. You know, I was like, really? Come on now. And they believe they talk to my son about me. You know, and again, they use a picture of my son. They send the picture, which again, I had like a year ago on my Instagram. They keep them now. So they must have like some database, and they keep me there. And they use the same picture of my son, and they keep sending it over to them. And these ladies, they fall for it. They just want to be there. They want to be the lady figure, the wife figure, the mom figure. They want to be there. And then they keep using my kids. And when I was talking to one of them, he's like, well, we need to do what we can do, because otherwise we are so poor. Otherwise I can't get any money. I was like, all right, so you're not only being a effing a-hole by using my kids, you also destroy these women, because if you lose money, these ladies, they can commit suicides. You destroy families. They just don't care. They're not just scammers. To me, they are just freaking murders as well, because some of these ladies, I'm sure there must be instances where they did commit suicide.
We've had 6 this year.
And they just don't care.
That is from one little page. That is a big amount. We've had 6 suicides that we found out about. So how?
They keep killing them. It's on them.
Theft.
It's on them. They are the killers.
It's everything else, but it's also attempted murder, because if you grind somebody down that much,
yep.
you are pushing them over the edge. And you know, one of them was a lovely Burmese girl, and they don't know about scams, and she'd been pushed to borrow money. That's Michelle. She's had 2 suicides, and Michelle had an attempted one as well. But you know, she borrowed so much money, found out he wasn't coming home next month to pay it back, and the only way she could do it, because she was so ashamed and she couldn't get the money, was to kill herself, and she did. And I talked to a friend. And you know, we've got, I don't know whether Rebecca's on here. Rebecca works with us, and it was a big sentence that taught me a lot about scammers, because she said to her scammer, "I've got a pile of pills here, and all I can do because of this is take them." And the scammer said to her, "Rebecca, do what you've got to do." And that hardened my heart a lot when I heard that. Yeah, maybe
Heartless.
That's one of the only true sentences they say, that they don't care. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to end. It's got to.
Yeah, but again, who knows? Who knows? Only thing I can do right now is prevention. I keep posting, you know, here and there. I post a video like, be aware, just like I did yesterday. Gonna be aware, but that's about it. But then, if the lady chooses not to trust the video or not to trust my video, then what can I do? Like, you know, I think I did my part, but even talking to you now, like I feel like I'm doing something, you know, to raise awareness. But other than that, like, there's nothing much I can do.
We use these quite a lot because, you know, as you know, I mean, I know you do your videos, but sometimes they'll do voice calls, and of course their voice is very different from yours. This is
yeah, I mean, do I sound Nigerian? Sounds like sometimes they have Nigerian accent with my face. I was like, come on.
A few of them I did some, you know, I recorded their conversation with me, and you know, they were sort of German. They were Nigerian, but they were German. Somebody had German accent because his father was from Germany, and then another one had no idea what I was saying at all. I could say anything, and he came on a voice call. So I recited the entire Bohemian Rhapsody, and he didn't know. He did not know what I was saying all the way through. It was funny, but it's sad. Until that point, until I got him onto that voice call, the copy and paste made sense.
Yeah. All right. And since you're talking about voice calls and whatever, I actually did talk to one of them. He's like, "No, I'm not gonna be talking to you over video because you're gonna take a picture of me." I was like, "Well, talk to me. Don't be a, you know, chicken." He goes, "All right." So he joined, and he was telling me, you know, he's sorry.
Yeah.
He's sorry. But story be like, "Oh my God, you know, like, I'm a police officer over here. The government doesn't take care of us. You know, like, I need to actually do this because, you know, I have a family to feed, you know, this and that." And I was like, man, you might want to fix your family for your government first. Go do something about it. Don't be, you know, whatever you're doing, and just do something. Well, they, you know, they have always some stories. So when you ask me, so I did talk to them on a video, and then we just, like, I was asking him questions. He sounded sorry, but obviously he wasn't, and he kept telling me he's a government, you know, official. He wasn't. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is now. To this point, it's just like whatever. Also, what I wanted to say, just to kind of raise awareness, is intimate pictures. When I was getting my tattoo, I was shirtless, and I took a picture of myself, you know, getting a new tattoo, from the left side, basically, so showing, you know, like, upper chest, basically, you know, shirtless. And then what they did, they cut out my tattoo guy and my arm, which is getting tattooed, and then they send it. And then obviously they found some genitalias online, and what they did, they sent it to this lady, and with virtual sex. So what this lady did, she in exchange, she
Yep.
sent pictures, and they have naked pictures. Again, why? Like, just because you see a, you know, topless upper body, which is cut out, and then some genitalia from online, like there's so many of them, you believe that, and you send your own naked pictures to these scammers. So then not only do they have like leverage over you because they already have you emotionally, now they can blackmail you because they have your pictures. So then what's gonna happen? They are doomed to send something, because do you want, you know, do they want their naked pictures all over the internet?
But,
I
you
mean,
know,
they
so
don't,
their
I don't know.
emotions are all over the place because they've met somebody, they've been in a relationship with somebody, they've had hot online sex, don't get that, with somebody, and then they've got the panic of the blackmail. So their mind's got to completely turn around. They've got the panic of the blackmail, and it's all backfired on them. And, you know, and all I keep thinking is, think of what is over there doing this to you. Because if they put as much effort into making Nigeria a decent place as they put into scamming the world, Nigeria could be a wonderful place. You know, a bit of application into that as much as they do to what they do to men and women.
Definitely.
And yeah, it's we know too much. We from our side. It's not because the poor. It's not because, well, yeah, the government's bad. Not as bad as the people, I don't think. But no, it's a good excuse. It's a good thing for there, so that people say, oh, you know, it's really bad. Ian, he does it because he's poor. No, I'm sorry, he doesn't.
Yeah.
So, Honza, thank you very much. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you, guys. Again, I just want to say, you know, thank you guys for everything you've done for me so far for these past, you know, few months, a year possibly. Every time I report a profile to you, it is taken down within, you know, a few days. So thank you so much. You are actually your help.
We can get them.
Instagram.
As I say, we are very, very lucky because we do have contact with Facebook. We do have a human at Facebook. Well, we've got a team of humans, actually. We're part of a team of humans at Facebook. And it does help because we're not dependent on the community guidelines and the automated system. So sometimes it's quick, sometimes a bit slower, but it works. It will always, it will always go. So yeah, it's all we can do is keep doing what we're doing.
And keep reporting. Again, so I just want to say thank you so much. You guys actually do work, and your system works. It works well. When I report it, you guys take care of it immediately. So I'm very thankful to you. Thank you so much.
We fight. So thank you, Honza. And, you know, every time you put one of your videos up, we'll have it as well. So have a very good day.
Thank you so much again.
Bye now.
You too. Bye. Bye, everybody.